Hello there my friends and welcome back to another episode of TA with MK. My name of course is MK. Today's episode we're going to do the follow-up to a video I put out about a week ago or so. It was the top 5 altcoins I'm buying right now. In that video we discussed 5 different altcoins with some price levels on the charts that we were looking at, and then kind of why I thought those coins could perform well during the second half of this bull run. I did mention in that video I had 10 actual coins I was looking at. I just did 5 in that video, so yes, this is the follow-up video to that. This would be the other 5 coins that I'm looking to buy right now, and then one other bonus coin that I'm looking at. So there'll be 6 total coins we're talking about in today's video. Just a quick look at the charts, the levels that I'm looking, or the prices that I'm looking to buy them at, a brief overview of what the coin is and why I think it could perform well during this bull run, and most importantly, what is my price predictions for these coins for this bull run. I did also want to quickly mention that I've recently moved my USDT or Tether from the MEXC account over to the BLOFIN account. I made an entire video about that. The link will be in the description. I just wanted to quickly also mention in today's video that I've recently affiliated with BLOFIN, and there's actually a promotion they're running right now. The details also will be in the link in the description as well as on the screen. If you use my link to create an account and move some money over to their futures or leverage trading section, you don't even have to make any trades right away, but just by doing that, by using my link, you'll actually get a free $30 deposit into your account that you can use to start trading with. And the final day for that promotion actually is on July 18th, so you want to use that link in the description right away to go ahead and get that set up and get your free USDT. And with all that out of the way, if you guys are enjoying the content, consider doing me a favor and liking and subscribing, as it does me a huge favor in helping the channel to grow. And with all that out of the way, here is 6 coins I'm looking to buy right now. Okie dokie, without further ado, we are here on CoinGecko.com. We're going to scroll down through the top 100 here to our first coin that we're talking about today, which lands at number 31. Now, the exciting thing about this coin is I've been waiting to put out another video in my price prediction playlist for this coin, which was 3 previous crypto coins that were separate that just merged together. It was Singularity, which is AGIX, Ocean Protocol, and the biggest one, which was Fetch.ai. Now these coins finally just merged together, or at least are in the final process of merging together, and they formed a new company called Artificialsuperintelligencealliance, which is going to have, I believe, the ticker at some point of ASI. It looks like right now they're still using the FET ticker, which was what Fetch.ai used. In fact, by simply clicking on the actual token, we can see over here on the right under Overview, it says Fetch.ai, Ocean Protocol, and Singularity Net unite to form Artificial Superintelligence through a token merger and continue to trade under the FET token. Now, I guess that must mean maybe they just decided to stay with that. I don't know if they'll change at any point to the ticker ASI. Fetch.ai had made changes to the tokenomics in preparation for the upcoming merge. For more information, you can actually refer to this article here. Now, my channel's never been a channel that focuses on the fundamentals, so that's not going to change here. Typically, I'm more of a TA, which is hence the TA with MK, as well as analytical side of things, crunching the numbers. That's where I come up with the price prediction videos. So I'm only going to briefly touch on what these coins do, or at least what they say that they do. You could do your own research after this if you want to dive in a little more to the fundamental side, but I at least want you to be aware of what Google says each token is for, which is part of why I chose these tokens, because they, in my opinion, fit kind of the narrative or narratives going on in this bull run. So what is an ASI token? It will fund the Superintelligence Alliance vision, building decentralized artificial superintelligence for humanity and for the future, developing decentralized AI tools for present-day applications in business and retail users, and securing compute for AI decentralized style. Now, the biggest thing that I want you to take from all of what I just said there is that it is an AI coin, 3 previous coins that merged together, and I think that's one of the biggest narratives for this bull run. Okay, so now that we're here on the chart here on TradingView, I'm going to tell you there'll be 2 things we're going to go over with each of these coins as it relates to the chart itself. And number 1 is going to be 3 different buying levels I'll have already laid out on the chart. Most cases it's just going to be levels of support that we're looking at, that if Bitcoin pulls back further and the coin pulls back further, this will be areas we want to look to buy the coin at. Again, not financial advice of course, but areas I'll be looking to buy the coin at. And then number 2 is going to just be some price projections based on my formula. In most cases I'll already have a video out. If I do, I'll reference that video for that coin. The link will be in the description. You'll be able to watch that video. In this one, of course, I'll just touch again on those different price price projections for that particular coin. All right, perfect. So moving on here on the FET chart, the first price level that we're looking here is between $1 and $1.10, where it's recently bouncing at. And the main reason behind that is it's just the upper side of a zone here that I have basically as the top of the 2021 bull run. And that again ranges between $1 and $1.10. So it's basically just using the top of 2021 as current support. Of course, that could roll over if Bitcoin, dips further. This may just be a short-term rally. If that's the case, a stronger area of support down below would be between 70 and 80 cents. That would be our buy level number 2. You can see a big rejection that happened back here, met by a large pullback. And then most recently, during the beginning of this bull run, as it, broke above this lower zone we'll talk about in a second, that was where it was met with resistance before it pulled back, found lower support, and then catapulted through it. And then, of course, our third and final area of support, which maybe is a little less likely, but of course, if Bitcoin pulls back to below 50K, then anything is on the table or in the cards at that point, and that is between 45 and 55 cents. I think that would be the strongest area of support after Bitcoin, or after, FET topped at the end of last bull run and ultimately bounced once up and found that as resistance before finding its bear market lows. It pumped again in January 2023, but lo and behold, that was again resistance. And then, like we just talked about, when it finally broke that resistance, it is the support that eventually led to this crazy increase in price. So again, those 3 buy levels, which we'll zoom in on the screen right now, are $1 to $1.10, 70 to 80 cents, and 45 to 55 cents. In fact, just to show you how bullish I was on this coin, my actual projection, which is represented here in green, was that the coin, which is now ASI, formerly Fetch.ai, will end up at position number 14. This is based on 115K Bitcoin, that it will be $12.13. So I project it'll actually break $12, which is almost a 10x from where price is now. The next coin on our list that we'll be talking about in today's video ranks currently number 65, and that would be ONDO, ONDO. Now, ONDO is a finance coin. We're going to hop over here to Google real quick and explain what it is. What is ONDO Finance? It says here on bitstamp.net, it says ONDO Finance is a cross-chain DeFi platform for the tokenization of real-world assets. That's going to be the key as far as the narrative goes, RWA, including US regulated institutional grade securities. Now, what do I mean by RWA? Well, again, Google will explain it better than I can. And this is one of the narratives that I think is going to continue to be popular throughout this bull run. It says here, real world assets, or RWAs, refer to the tangible assets that exist outside the digital realm. These can range from bonds to real estate properties, commodities, and machinery. The concept of RWAs in the blockchain context is about digital tokens that represent these physical and traditional financial assets. So just kind of in a nutshell, or way to dumb that down, is it's just giving you the ability to invest in some of these financial related things that traditional stocks, don't give you the ability to invest in. And now as we hop over here to the chart on TradingView for ONDO, I want to mention that the beautiful thing about a coin like this that is basically brand new, and when I say brand new, if you look down here on the chart, it just came out at the beginning of the year, so January 2024, so we don't even have a full year worth of price action. Well, the beautiful thing about a brand new coin is because there's not a lot of price action history, it's easier for this coin to go into what's called price discovery. It's easier for it to move faster because there's not areas of historic resistance where people are waiting that maybe bought the coin at a higher price that are waiting to sell. So for example, as soon as this coin breaks back above its current high, which is like $1.50, it's going to go into price discovery. That's going to be areas that no one's ever seen the price of this coin go yet, meaning that no one has bought the coin at the higher prices. So in that case, sometimes the coin can just keep on going and going and going and reach price evaluations that no one would even have expected, just simply because there's no resistance over its head to hold it down. Now, on the flip side of that, what's scary about a coin that has no price history in this case is you don't have historic levels of support that you could truly say, hey, the coin has interacted with this price on 4, 5, 6, multiple occasions to know that this is a good area to buy. That being said, I personally love coins that are new. I think a lot of times they're the coins that perform the very best during a bull run. They're also coins you don't necessarily want to hold during the bear market. But that being said, it does mean it's more of a riskier play. I guess you'd call it a higher risk, higher reward. So at the end of the day, you got to do your own research and decide if a coin like this fits your risk tolerance. And if it doesn't, move on to a safer coin. I also want to mention that I haven't put out my own personal price projection video for this coin yet. So in this video, I'll still just give you 3 price projections based on different Bitcoin prices and positions this coin could end up at. However, in the next couple of weeks, you'll see me put out a video specific to this coin with my own personal price projection to do with ONDO and where I think it'll end up. Now, the 3 prices that I'll be looking for that are good buying areas based on what support we do have or what history we have of support at this point is the area it's bouncing at now. So anywhere between 90 cents and $1 to me would be a good first area to look to purchase some of this coin. Then you have this zone of support, probably the bigger zone of support where it spent more time at. That was between 70 and 75 cents. And then of course, if it were to pull back even further and maybe even the very, very best value for this coin, which would represent another 50% drop from where we're at now, would be around 45 to 50 cents. Now, as we move my head out of the way and zoom out and give just a couple quick price projections for this coin, I'll dive into this deeper in the later video, but understand that a big part of how we come up with these projections is the circulating supply. Now, if this coin tops before the end of this year, so if it has a big rally, that could end up being its higher price, and let me explain why. Their circulating supply, which makes a big difference on these projections, is actually only 1.45 billion, clear up until the beginning of 2025, but then right after that, on January 17th, there's a big unlock, and the actual circulating supply goes up to a little over 3 billion. So, you know, depending on how many of those coins get sold at that time, it'll make a big difference. As we can see over here on my chart, I show that if it were to stay at position number 63 and it's after 2025 before it tops, so let's just say crypto continues to pull back, it doesn't rally until next year and all those coins are unlocked, you could have a projection at 117k Bitcoin, position 63 where it's at now, of only $1.67, which isn't really that crazy of a gain from where we're at now. It's only a little over a 1.5x. On the flip side of that, if the same exact thing happens to 117k Bitcoin before the end of this year, maybe isn't likely in my opinion, but it could still happen, and this coin remains at position 63, well then that projection is all the way up to $3 and almost 50 cents, which is over a 3.5x. Again, I will dive into that much deeper when I put out the individual video for ONDO, but here on the screen in a horizontal green line, I have here what my projection would roughly be for ONDO if Bitcoin were to hit 117k. Now this is based on the average of it happening sometimes toward the latter part of next year, and at position 50 we have a price of around $3.65, which would be about a 3.5x from where we're at now. The next coin we're going to be talking about in today's video comes in currently ranked at number 96 on CoinGecko, and that's going to be BEAM. Now this coin was actually formerly named meritcircle, and a simple Google search will tell you what BEAM is used for. BEAM is an open source blockchain specialized for gaming. That's going to be the keyword or the narrative word that we're going to be focusing on as it relates to BEAM. It is an ecosystem that simplifies the complexities of game development and dramatically enhances the gaming experience. And now as we hop over here to the chart on TradingView for BEAM, it's important to point out, if you look up here on the top left, it actually comes up as BEAMX on a lot of the exchanges. It just depends on whether or not that exchange has the other token, which I'll put the logo on the screen for, that's also named BEAM. So the important thing is to find the correct logo, which I'll also put on the screen if you're searching for this chart, because otherwise it's going to confuse you if you have the other one pulled up. So for example, like on HTX or MEXC that I use a lot to chart, it'll come up as BEAMX. And then of course, just like the last coin, I also want to point out this one falls under the higher risk play as well. Really the rest of the coins going forward, since they're all going to be towards the end and outside of the top 100 at this point, anytime that you're outside of the top 100 in crypto, you're definitely hitting the higher risk area, versus the ones inside the top 100 are usually a little bit safer bet. But also, just like the last coin, we don't have a lot of price history here. Ever since it rebranded at the end of October, early November of 2023, which is only like a year and a half ago, this is what we have for price action on most of the charts that you pull up. So in that case, we just have to get a little more creative as far as how we're going to set our buy levels. Now, BEAM is a coin that I already own some of, most of which I bought at higher prices. I only recently had this coin on my radar. I say recently as in maybe like 6 months ago, but clearly this coin has done nothing but gone down since it piqued my interest. However, I have not lost faith in this coin. I just think if anything, we're finding better levels or more fair value levels to buy at this point. You'll see when I get to my price projection area why I'm so bullish on this coin, because of where I think it could actually end up. So because of the way price action has played out over the past 5 or 6 months, our plan for this coin is actually going to differ than the other ones. We're only going to be looking at one major area below support, which will be our first buy area, and then we actually have 2 layers above us, which is currently resistance, which you'll see on my chart is represented in red this time rather than green. And these are areas that if we break back above and flip from current resistance back into support, I would look to add to or open brand new positions into BEAM. So if we zoom in, these 3 different levels we're looking at, first off, if we pull back further, is between 0.0105 and 0.0127. That would be this lower green box of support. Then above that, we have a resistance level that if we break above, right now we're kind of testing the lower side of it, but if we break above that and flip it as support, meaning we're seeing, multiple daily candles in a row closing in this zone or above it, that would be between 0.0165 and 0.0178. That would be a good area, I think, to add or open a position. And then finally, we have this upper zone of resistance, which you can see we interacted with a whole lot back here, just like that zone we just talked about with support a whole lot back here. And that would actually be 0.0201 through 0.0223. Next, we can go ahead and take a quick look at these price projections that I came up with for BEAM or BEAMX. Now, I made a video for this one already. I will leave the link in the description. You can see the thumbnail popping up on the screen now. You'll want to watch that video to get the more deep dive or detailed, version of how I came up with these prices using my formula. In this video, I'm just going to mention them to you. So we have here in yellow, position number 96. These are all based on 117K Bitcoin, coming in at 0.04. That'd be about a 2.5x from where we are now. We can go up a little ways here to my blue horizontal line. That would be if BEAM moved up to position 70, again based on 117K Bitcoin. That one comes in at 0.078, which is about a 5x from where we are now. And then finally, all the way up here at position number 41 through 50, coming in at basically 14 cents, would be about an 8.5x. And then, of course, my own personal projection for BEAM, which you'll see is rather bullish. But like I said before, this is one of the coins that even though it hasn't been performing too well recently, I still have a ton of faith in. I have my prediction showing that it ends up around position 50, give or take, 4 or 5 positions. This is based on 115K Bitcoin, which is just my personal projection for Bitcoin. If you've watched any of my price projection videos, that would come in at around 12 cents, which at the time of making that video, and the price is still right around that same price, would actually be about a 7x. Number 4's coin in today's video is actually a POW coin, or a proof of work coin. I'm here on CoinGecko and I'm looking under the proof of work coins. Now in the last video, we actually talked about KASPA, ticker KAS, currently ranked number 26. However, we're going to scroll a little bit further down and there's another coin I'm banking on to perform really well this bull run. It was around last bull run and has kind of fallen off a little bit. I think it picks back up some of its momentum and finishes this bull run strong. Currently coming in at number 139 and number 4 on our list is Nervos Network, or CKB. And then again, just to touch briefly on the fundamental side of this coin, a simple Google search shows here that the Nervos CKB common knowledge base is the base layer. It is a general purpose proof of work, or POW, like I said before, blockchain that serves as the consensus engine for the Nervos based applications and application layers. We can scroll down here. It also says, people may ask, what is the purpose of this network? It ensures the miners are paid for providing security to the network in perpetuity. Nervos was designed as a modular blockchain network from the get-go, meaning it can scale to millions of transactions per second through many diverse layer 2 networks without sacrificing security or decentralization. Now, I would like to add that I definitely wouldn't shy away from doing a little research on your own as it relates to this coin or all the coins that I mentioned in this video or any of my videos, really, because of course I never touched that deep on the fundamental side of it, and I do think that's important for you to educate yourself on that before you make any investment decisions. But over here on the chart now, we can see I have these areas of support and an area of resistance. These are going to be the 3 areas that I would look to add or buy or open a position on CKB. We can zoom in over here to the right and actually see that the levels that I have as far as lower prices, one we just touched, which was the 0.009 to 0.010, or just above that anyways, that green zone of support, which we can clearly see if we look back over here, that we saw a bounce here at the top side of it, a bounce here at the bottom side of it. This got really close, but then we had another bounce here before we failed. And then, of course, most recently, that's where we're bouncing right now. We also have a lower zone of support, which is probably the stronger support if Bitcoin rolls over again and CKB loses its current support. That would be this area that it spent the entire bear market basically using as resistance on several occasions before finally breaking out. And that falls between 0.005 and 0.0063. Again, I think that if we do break down, that would be the very best area to buy. And then also, just like the last coin we went over, there is one other way you could play this coin, either to add to a current position or maybe play a little bit more of a strength or momentum type of a play, would be if we're able to regain this level above us at 0.005 0.0135 to 0.015. You can see this area hasn't had a whole lot of interaction. However, when it broke down at the end of the last bull run, this was the last little rally it had before it became resistance. It also is an area that we blasted through and most recently found temporary support before seeing another short-term rally. I'm more interested in how it looks from a fib level perspective. And what exactly do I mean by that? Well, if we take this fib retracement tool here on TradingView and we drag it from these bear market low prices, which is right around 0.0025-ish, up to this wick, which was the high price from this particular bull run, we can actually zoom in and see that all of these levels that I've been talking about all kind of line up nicely with some fib levels. You have, of course, where we're bouncing now, which is the 786. We have the 886 right below us, which is the lower zone that we spoke about as far as a good buy order. And then, of course, we have the one that we're talking about right now, which falls between 0.0135 and 0.015, which is right around where the golden pocket is, which you can see here on the fib tool is the 0.618 to 0.65. So in my opinion, if we're able to regain the top side of that especially, which is the right around the 0.15 I mean, then of course, in my opinion, that would be a good spot to see, a more sustained rally on upward to new higher prices. And now we can go ahead and take a quick look at some of the price projections that I came up with when I made the video for CKB. Again, I will put that actual link in the description, and you can also see the thumbnail here on the screen for the video that I put out for Nervos Network. I'd recommend watching that if you're more curious of exactly how I use my formula to come up with these prices. Now, at the time of making this particular video, it differed from what I've been doing on my more recent ones. I was basing these projections off 110k Bitcoin rather than 115, so you'll see that the projections are just a little bit less. Now here at position number 123 at 110k Bitcoin, we have an average price of 0.030, which is about a 2.5x from where we are now. The blue horizontal line here represents position number 90, again 110k Bitcoin, average price 0.050, which is about a 4x from where we are now. And then if it were to move up to position number 75 at 110k BTC, we have an average price of 0.072, which would be about a 6x. And then of course my own personal price prediction for CKB, which I've updated to reflect the 115k Bitcoin. My prediction was it comes in around position number 80, a price of 0.067, which actually from where we're at now would be about a 6x. To find coin number 5 in today's video, we had to scroll all the way down to position 244 on CoinGecko, and there we find a little AI coin called PAAL. Of course, to briefly touch on what PAAL is, just like all the other coins, we're going to use Google. What does PAAL AI crypto do? Well, PAAL AI is designed to provide crypto investors with their own personal AI assistant, which can be used for reliable information and customized services. The platform allows users to create and deploy personalized AI tools for various purposes, such as cryptocurrency analysis, content upload, and data collection. I'm sure you can guess what the narrative word I was going for with this particular coin is, and that would be AI. We can actually scroll down a bit further, and it says people also ask, what is the use of PAAL AI? So kind of the same thing as above, but I just want to read this as well. It says PAAL is a powerful AI ecosystem that empowers users to craft their own personalized AI and deploy it seamlessly across platforms like Telegram and Discord. The reason I wanted to read that is those are actually popular platforms that a lot of people are using nowadays, especially inside of crypto. And again, this particular crypto coin just gives you the ability to make personalized AI stuff for those platforms. It goes on beyond expectations, offering comprehensive AI solutions for a diverse range of applications. Now, as we hop over to the chart for PAAL, what I actually find more exciting even than the fact that it's an AI coin and what it actually does as far as the use case is actually its chart. Now, obviously, I'm a TA nerd, that's what my channel is based around, and this could not be a prettier looking chart to me as far as, sometimes you just have charts that look easier to trade than others. I think this falls in that category where it's very clear what needs to happen in order to buy or enter this coin. Now, of course, just like the other coins, we have 3 buy levels that we're going to briefly go over, and then I'm going to touch a little bit on some TA that has some confluence along with at least one of the buy orders. So, of course, the lowest buy order, if it were to pull back, this would be clear back to this area where it was finding support all the way from like November of 2023 clear through February of 2024, and that falls between 9 cents and 11 cents. Then of course we have the zone that it recently just bounced from, and we'll talk about that in a minute, and that would be between 18.5 cents and 21 cents. That's this middle zone I have here in green, where obviously this was resistance back here on multiple occasions, and recently it's finding support. And then of course we have the overhead resistance. That's another option of where you could enter the coin. We're currently at that right now. We'd want to see some, of course, candles close in this area, preferably above it. We're on the daily chart right now, so if we can have 3-4 days in a row of candle body closures above this zone, now that zone would be 27.5 cents up to about 30.5 cents. And the confluence that I'm referring to would be this. Now, on this chart, unlike the other 4 coins, I drew an actual trend line, not something that we did on the previous charts, just because there wasn't one that was as clear. To me, the only time I really trade trend lines is when everything kind of lines up perfect from this perspective. And what I mean is, number one, I want to see at least 3 or more touches. We have 1, 2, 3 clear rejections here, and we're currently flirting again with that trend line right now. The next couple of points I'm going to make are the most important. What I would want to see as far as an entry idea would be, number one, a breakout of this trend line. Now understand that when you have a trend line like this that's, you know, going down to the downside, all it is a series of highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? It's just, that's what makes, you know, the price action do what it's doing. What you want to see is, number one, a break out of the trend line. Number two, a higher high than the last high inside the wedge, which would be this, right? We had this low, another lower high. This is potentially what we call in TA a double bottom, which would be confirmed if we can break above this high, which, you know, price action's flirting with right now. So this is zone of resistance. A break above that, which would be, of course, a higher high finally. The first time trend, the trend is trying to reverse. And then you could look at a retest entry of this zone we just talked about, which is about 27.5 cents up to about 30.5 cents. And then, of course, just my own personal prediction for the price of PAAL for this bull run, which I actually think is super conservative, but I want to be on the safer side. And what that would be it moving from obviously where it's at now, which is around 250, on up to about 150. This is based on also 115k Bitcoin, which might also be on the conservative side. With that, I have based on my formula, which of course, again, you'll want to see the link in the description to watch that video and understand how I come up with these numbers. But what we have here is $1.35, which from where we're at now, which is just under 28 cents, would be about a 5x. And the sixth and final coin for today's video, which is our bonus coin, actually sits at position number 205 currently at the time I'm making this video, and that coin would be SUPERVERSE, the ticker SUPER, S-U-P-E-R. Now, I want to be very transparent that unlike the other coins we've talked about up to this point, this is not a coin I'm bullish on fundamentally at all. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have good fundamentals, but from what I can tell, it doesn't necessarily have great fundamentals. The white paper is not that good. We're not going to discuss that in today's video, but the main reason why I think this coin could be a good play for at least the duration of this bull run is simply the influencer hype that it receives. If we hop over here on YouTube and do a simple search of SUPERVERSE LEO Trades, now in case you're unaware, LEO Trades has his own YouTube channel. You can see here it has around 635,000 subscribers, a very large channel, especially inside of the crypto space. This is his own project that he made up. It's a gaming coin, and he actually talks about it all the time. And you'll see as we hop over to the chart that whenever he brings it up on one of his videos, typically that's of course when it pumps based on this giant following. It doesn't look like he's talked about it, at least on a video that's gotten a lot of views in about 5 months. You're going to see when we get over to the chart that that kind of lines up with exactly when this coin topped most recently. And then of course another YouTuber that mentions this coin all the time, I typed in SUPERVERSE Alex Becker. He has over 1.44 million subscribers, again 5 months ago. These 3 crypto coins will 30x by June. Well, of course that didn't happen. You'll see when we get over to the chart. But the thing is him just mentioning this coin 5 months ago as well. Isn't that kind of ironic how both of them mention it at the same time? Of course, it pumped. And then, of course, for consistency's sake, I will at least read to you from Google what it says SUPERVERSE is. It says the SUPERVERSE is a building and delivering Web3 product that empower crypto natives with the next generation NFT functionality. Now, NFT was obviously a big hype word in the last bull run. I haven't heard as much about it this bull run as far as being one of the top narratives. It says, and onboard Web2 users through immersive blockchain gaming experiences. The SUPERVERSE comprises 2 core verticals, NFT marketplace technology, and, like I said before, video games. So now as we hop over to the chart, which is here on TradingView, I'm using the Gate.io chart. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about any TA related to this coin because I really do think the majority of the pumps and dumps here are all related to basically those YouTubers pumping it whenever they make a video about it, and probably their subscribers buying it and then selling it, and then of course them themselves being the major reason it probably dumps. That being said, we still have levels here we can eye. For an immediate entry as far as a breakout option, option that would actually be this top target I have here, which is between 67 cents and 71 cents, so just above where we are now. I'd want to see a breakout above that, daily candles closing, and of course a retest of it, and then at that point we could enter. A pullback would be a safer bet to either of these two zones. We have 46 cents to 56 cents, and then obviously on a bigger pullback in the very safest entry, but the thing is you may not get it, would be between 28 cents and 37 cents. And finally, what is my price prediction for Super or Superverse for this bull run? Well, it might sound a little outlandish, but again, this is based primarily, or mostly at least, on the influencer hype that I know it's going to receive from the influencers we talked about, plus many other ones that of course are just looking to piggyback on the potential gains that could come just from them, shilling it, so to speak. And it will have to actually zoom up a ways to see what I have. Like I said, it might look a little crazy, but I really think it's very possible. I predict it's going to end up somewhere around position 100. I think it could even be just outside of that and still achieve this price. Might even go higher at some point. But if it ends up around position 100, this is based on 115k Bitcoin. I have it hitting around $4, which from where we are now, which is just right around 65 cents, would be about a 6x. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I really do hope you got some value out of this one. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to the channel, as obviously it helps to grow. If you want to check out my price prediction playlist, I'll put that on the screen now, as well as my last video do with the other 5 coins that I'm buying now. And as always, on your way out, remember to invest in yourself.